Ajax and his renegades have surrounded the base of Summit Peak. They brought artillery and ground support.
Noted. Is our ambush ready?
We are doing what we can, but Ajax has twice the troops we expected.
Then we'll just have to fight twice as hard.
Well said. If it's too much for you Vanguard ninnies, me and the recruit can take on the whole posse of renegades by ourselves.
You're a mean old grunt, Forgel. Fine. You two hold the line and we'll act as backup. Good luck.
Hello folks, welcome to Guild Wars 26. Today we're taking a look at one of my favourite missions, and one that I know you'll enjoy as well. It's called Minister's Defence. Now you'll remember last week we ended on warning two diplomats that they were going to be ambushed. The choices were ambush them when they come to ambush us, or go straight to their camp and attack. Now I chose the ambush option, and this is the result. You first have 3 platoons to choose from. One has a cannon, one has a ward, and one ambushes the troops coming down. You have to choose whether they go to the east, the west, or the south. Then you go out and you defend Summit Peak from the Renegades for as long as you possibly can. Now, like I say, it's a great mission because there's lots of enemies to kill, and you actually have a decision on how it's going to play out to a certain extent. I couldn't say with any confidence that your decision on where you place the different platoons makes any difference, but I would suggest putting the cannon to the west. That's where the hardest enemies come from, and it might buy you some time. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of enemies, but they tend to fall quite easily. Remember, if you've been exploring other areas, you're probably a higher level than you think you are. Scales down when you're elsewhere, and you will do more damage, but of course the enemy will as well, so watch out for that. Remember to adjust your play depending on the area that you're in. Each area has 2 attack forces, 2 waves of enemies which will come forward. It's as easy as just defeating them and moving on to the next place. There's no big rush where they'll come from every area. You don't need to worry about that. Just keep moving forward. Kill them before they can get up to Summit Peak. The last bit is slightly different because there's a boss. You might remember Ajax, who is the leader of the Renegades. From the west, sorry, and he brings with him quite a few bodyguards. Now we're not quite there yet, we're still defending the south. There we go. Now remember, each wave probably gets slightly more difficult, so don't be overconfident. I didn't find it too difficult. They tended to fall quite easily, but still, you don't want to fall, because by the time you've respawned and got back into the battle, it will be harder to recover. Now this is where I set the camp, and you can see why. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does knock them back a little bit. And given that the next force is slightly more difficult than the others, it's just a helpful thing to have. Here comes Ajax. Watch out for those bodyguards, they really are a pain. If you start feeling like you're going to have trouble, run back up the hill. It might not help you, but it might just buy you some time. That's one of Ajax's moves. It will make you just run away from the battle. It's a real pain. You can't control your character.
Bad shape here.
And that's it for Guild Wars 26. As I say, this was one of my favourite missions of the game so far. It was a bit more interactive. And just as one last tip, make sure you focus on Ajax, because the other guys don't matter. He does. So, again, thank you very much. Subscribe, click across for the full diary. Mind out for that move. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you very much for listening.
We did it. I can't believe it. The Renegades are beaten.
Don't act so surprised, Sergeant. It's downright insulting.
I don't understand these renegades. It's hard to believe anyone in Tyria would work against peace. With the dragons out there, we can't afford to be divided.
Some people can't see past their own noses. It's a good thing we can. This treaty will help even the odds against Zaitan. Count on it. You did well, recruit. You learn quickly, you adapt, and you know when to put hammer to steel. I wasn't sure I'd like you when we started this operation. Amora kinda twisted my arm to take you on. Said you were special. But damned if you didn't live up to every word she said. You aren't like the rest of these youngins hanging around the Order.
I'm field promoting you to Crusader, but don't let it go to your head.
I won't, old man. And thank you. It's an honor to work with you two.
Old man, huh? Don't push your luck.
Damn fine fighting, recruit. Reminds me of my youth.